Home brothers, this is Uncle Jeebers of the KBH. Just had 3 rough days of concert performances and feeling a little tired, but I'm still up on my feet, and I'm really happy to see all these intelligent comments coming from interesting and intelligent, brilliant men from all over the world. And so I'm really excited to see that, even though our viewership on this vlog is still pretty low. We're an elite group, I think, yeah? So what I wanted to talk about is a discussion I was having today about the karmic implications of circumcision, MGM, and what it means for all of us. I think MGM is a very extreme expression of the gender war. And so there is definitely a gender war going on, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth, and women are hating men for what men did to them, and men are hating women for what women did to them, and they constantly are fighting and fighting and fighting. Well, in the cosmology of Martinus, what would we say about that? Well, we'd say this war thing at some point is going to have to find a truce, and we're going to have to make peace with each other at some point. And that peace only comes from forgiveness. And this forgiveness is a often misunderstood point of the Bible and of all religion. People think forgiveness means, well, just forget it. You know, let it be. That's not quite how forgiveness works. What forgiveness requires is at least a certain amount of understanding. So we need to be understanding, you know, why women do what they do, and women need to be understanding why we're doing what we're doing before this truce is really going to happen. I think a lot of this truth, as you know, is pretty much the reality in Europe for a lot of couples, for a lot of people. The gender war has sort of died down there, and that's symbolized by the fact that they don't use genital mutilation. It offends them very deeply, and so at least, you know, the very direct physical insults, humiliation, rape, and you know, satanic attacks on the genitals of another gender, those are basically at a truce in Europe. And so I salute our European brothers who have achieved this state of mind and this state of being in their society. The karmic implications of what's going on with MGM is, obviously we've discussed this before, so if you're going to amputate a male frenulum, that's the anti-rape mechanism, well then you'll have a lot more rape. So in the Jewish world, in the Arab, and in the North African world, rape is pretty common stuff. And I think, you know, pedophilia and all other kinds of things. I mean, if you could do something several times worse than pedophilia, a circumcision, well, what's pedophilia? Who cares? So that's why in our Talmud book it's okay to commit pedophilia for girls under the age of 3 or boys under the age of 9. You know, us boys are always getting slammed in Judaism, and Judaism has got to be the most anti-male thing I've ever seen. And more, every Jew that I meet just really comes off to me as faggy, whiny, constantly saying he's sorry. You know, just basically Woody Allen. This is a nightmare. And I would stay away from those people with a 10-foot pole, because they're really messed in the head, and I don't think they're going to fix that even in the next few lifetimes, if they are even so lucky to be reborn as a human being. Now, another implication of circumcision we discussed on the serial killer page is that circumcision and serial killing is directly connected. 100% of all of the serial killers that I have researched who have revealed their status are circumcised. And they also have incomplete families. So 100% of them are either orphans, or they don't have a father, or, you know, the parents are divorced and all that. So you've got a combination of these two things, and all the serial killers have that. And this is an interesting connection, why you can explain out of Asia why suddenly in South Korea there's a serial killer problem in South Korea, and there's a lot of perverted guys there in general. All the men are circumcised in South Korea. When I say all, I mean all, 100%. They go for conformity in Asia, don't they? And it's a milder form of circumcision. You use anesthetic. You get it done when you're 10 or 12, and it's certainly preferable to what's going on to babies. But a lot of the results and the perversion and the backlash, of course, is still coming out there, because genital mutilation is still that, even if you sugarcoat it and do it in some way that's somewhat more palatable. And finally, also, I noticed a connection was mastectomy. So mastectomy, the highest rate of mastectomy in the world is in the United States of America, and the United States has the highest rate of circumcision in the developed world, aside from Israel and South Korea, which are debatably not really countries, just really small. And Israel's probably going to be wiped off the map sometime soon. If a nuke goes off on the East Bank, and don't blame me, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But it's going to happen sometime. The real Holocaust is coming for you. Jews, meditating on it 24/7, making all your movies that we're all sick of. Thinking about that, focusing on it, building up that real Holocaust this time. Instead of this fake one you're making up, it's going to come back to bite you, I think. Jews, that Holocaust myth. And the mastectomies, I think, if we could find a figure, I would say most of the mastectomies are happening in women that gave birth to boys who were circumcised, and then the genital mutilation karma comes back to them. And I think, in fact, the mothers do, at least on some level, an emotional level, like a dog. They feel guilty about something somewhere. They don't know what it is, and they get some sort of catharsis from the process of getting their breast cut off, and it could even heal their cancer in some cases, because if they take it seriously, if they take this punishment seriously, they say, I'm going to own up to this, and I'm going to get them cut off. Don't know exactly why, but they're going to own up to some sort of payment. The more they own up to it, the better it gets. And finally, I want to mention that our viral theory of disease and our ideas of cancer and stuff are not what people think. So people don't get cancer from random causes, but the cancer comes from definite, at least psychological and spiritual impacts. There's research on this as well. Cancer that is terminal appears after your divorces, after being kicked out of your house, after major traumas and problems in your life, and then the combination of some bad habit with this trauma then seems to equal cancer. In another video, I want to break down the whole viral theory of disease versus the karmic theory of disease, and we'll break that down in the next video. I don't want to take this too long. So, Om, Amen, brothers, and thanks for watching.